Let's be real, Disney's live-action Snow White remake is nothing more than a hollow cash grab. There's no heart, no passion, just a corporate machine trying to milk nostalgia for profit. But of course, critics are pretending it's some kind of cinematic masterpiece. Seriously, Variety's Katie Steffen claims Rachel Zegler is graceful and gentle as Snow White. Oh, really? The same Rachel Zegler who spent months calling the original Snow White creepy? Now she's fully embracing the role? That's not authenticity, that's hypocrisy. And let's talk about the film itself. Disney took a beloved classic and turned it into yet another bland girl boss empowerment story, as if that alone makes up for weak writing. Instead of an enchanting fairy tale, we get a lecture about Snow White's ambitions and constant monologues about her father.
Time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats. And maybe that's a weird take.
You know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But the cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in...
Insiders, like Skylar Schuler, are calling it pure Disney magic. More like the same old cheap tricks. Take a beloved classic, slap on some bad CGI animals, throw in an overproduced musical number, and pretend it's something fresh. Let's be honest, Disney isn't making art, it's running a factory. Meanwhile, Crooked Media's Matt DeGoot insists that Zegler is a star and the songs are catchy. Sure, Zegler can sing, but does that really make up for Disney replacing genuine heart with noise, flashy colors, and soulless CGI? And let's not forget those horrific CGI dwarves. They look more like cartoon potatoes than actual characters. But hey, we can thank Peter Dinklage for that. He slammed the original concept as backwards, which pressured Disney into scrapping the classic dwarves altogether. The result? A group of 7 nightmare creatures that look completely out of place. Great job, Disney.
Still making that backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man? They're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White. Yeah. Seven Dwarfs.
We had the great opportunity to cast people like very talented actresses like ourselves.
Yeah, I've been in the entertainment game for 20 years.
That's 7 roles right there. Yeah. 7 little people that could have filled those roles, and unfortunately, you know, we were shut out of that.
We're trying to get an Oscar too. What?
On YouTube, clocked up 1.4 million dislikes. The second trailer that was released clocked up 900,000 dislikes. That's before the movie hits the cinemas. And it wasn't just the fact that the movie itself, as you said, Caleb, has got all these woke elements.
Paul Klein at Filmhound admits the dwarves look terrible, but still insists the movie is solid. Solid? This isn't a sidewalk, Paul?
The shareholders who have been pushing for them to ditch this DEI nonsense. So we did report last month that they did ditch 2 of their DEI programs because guess what? DEI does nothing for the bottom line. In the last quarter of last year alone, Disney's streaming platform lost over 700,000 subscribers. That's just in 3 months. That's how badly these guys have been nosediving. As of March last year, over the previous 2 years, Disney had lost over $100 billion in market cap. So these guys have been in free fall.
Even Ash Crossan at Screen Rant says the movie is charming and almost made her cry. Really? Disney has put out so much junk that a singing squirrel is now emotional cinema? Here's the truth. Disney doesn't care about Snow White. They care about your wallet. They take beloved classics, strip out their heart, sprinkle in some generic girl power messaging, and slap a fresh coat of CGI on top. The result? A soulless corporate remake. Gal Gadot's evil queen isn't menacing, she feels like a villain from a Disney Channel original movie. The magic? Gone. Instead, we get a watered-down, TikTok-filtered version of a fairy tale. These live-action remakes aren't about honoring the past or improving the story. They exist because Disney has run out of ideas. Critics pretend to love them because they're too scared to tell the truth. Disney is selling us nostalgia-flavored garbage and calling it gold. Wake up. The magic is gone. Disney isn't making movies anymore. They're exhuming old classics, slapping makeup on the corpses, and expecting us to cheer. Enough is enough. Believe me, the best argument I can make is to simply read some of the comments. On the trailer, these are real people, actual Disney fans, who took time out of their day to voice their opinions. The trailer has 9 million views, meaning for many, this was their first real exposure to the film. And judging by their reactions, it's safe to say they're not impressed. Sure, some might have an agenda or a bias, but when the sheer volume of negative comments outweighs the likes on the trailer, it's impossible to ignore. Here are just a few gems. I paid nothing to watch this trailer, but I already want my money back. Disney coming to a theater near you? Is that a threat? As a theater employee, it's nice to know I'll never have to worry about cleaning Snow White screenings. Mirror on the wall. When did Lord Farquaad get this tall? The only reason I knew this trailer existed was because an AI song generator made a track out of the hate comments. If I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk out. And then there's this absolute masterpiece. It took Disney 3 years, multiple rewrites, unnecessary CGI, and 29 million just for me to enjoy the comment section of a movie I will never watch. Bless you, Disney. While some of these are obviously meant as jokes, this level of backlash doesn't happen by accident. And with the movie's release looming, box office projections are rolling in. And none of them look good. According to Screen Rant, analysts predict an opening weekend between 63 million and 70 million, a modest figure at best. But considering the film's massive budget, even those numbers might not be enough to save it from disaster. With Snow White set to hit theaters on March 20th, the situation is becoming clearer by the day. And let's just say, it's not looking like a great sign for the movie's final box office tally. The early buzz isn't exactly inspiring confidence, and when you start breaking down the numbers, things get even more concerning. Right now, reports are all over the place when it comes to the film's final budgetary figures. Some estimates suggest it cost well over $269 million when you factor in production, marketing, and theatrical distribution. And as any industry insider will tell you, marketing and release expenses typically amount to about 2.5 times the production budget. That means for Snow White to even break even, it would need to pull in a staggering $673 million worldwide. Now, let's pause for a second and really think about that number. $673 million. That's not just a high bar, it's a mountain. That's the kind of money that only the biggest blockbusters manage to bring in. And given all the controversy surrounding the film, the backlash, and the general audience skepticism, the odds of Snow White crossing that threshold seem, well, let's just say incredibly slim. But hey, it's Disney we're talking about. And with Disney, you never say never. They've pulled off miracles before. But at the same time, I genuinely don't know how on earth they're going to hit that $673 million target. I mean, seriously, where's that money coming from? Are audiences really going to show up in those kinds of numbers? Will international markets save it? Will Disney find some other way to recoup their investment? I'm genuinely curious. And I'm not just throwing this question out there for dramatic effect. I really want to hear from you guys. If you have an idea,